Today you will see a demo of how easy it is for a developer to import a smart contract into a Cosmos chain running EVM on WebAssembly. We are importing contracts that are already deployed on an Ethereum chain, be it mainnet or a testnet, or even from an Ethermint-based chain. So we are running a local version of Mythos, which is the first and only incarnation of an eWasm-Cosmos chain. And this is our remix plugin that we can use to deploy Solidity contracts on Mythos. Mythos handles the EVM bytecode to EVM WebAssembly transpilation for you. And now we can just import contracts from Ethereum. Just give a JSON RPC URL or the moniker for the network, for example, mainnet. And then the contract address. In this case, we will be using the address of the wrapped ETH contract. We import, it takes the bytecode and the ABI. The name of the contract is also loaded, and we can also set some basic information about us as deployers. And now we can deploy this contract to our chain. We upload the EVM bytecode directly and the metadata. So we do this transaction, which is storing the EVM code that is actually transpiled to WebAssembly bytecode. So now we get a code ID for the source, and then we go to the Instantiate tab, where the code ID has already been set for us. Let's set a label for our instantiation of the contract. And we have the transaction finalized, and we have a contract address. From here, we can directly interact with the contract in the dApp tab, where we have the address filled in. And for example, we can get the name of the smart contract that we just deployed. But because Mythos has a decentralized web server, where developers can register sites for their accounts and their dApps, as you can see in previous videos, all deployed contracts have an automatic dApp created for them and have a reference automatically created for them in the web server. So anyone who runs a Mythos node can become a web server provider. So we can go to our local node's web server. Let's copy this address in hex format. Our web server is by default on port 99, and we can go to account, which is a route used specifically for browsing all the accounts registered with the chain. These accounts can be simple accounts like you have in any wallet, and you can register your own site in the web server, or this type of accounts, which are contract accounts. So we are served the reference to a decentralized dApp that is deployed for this contract, and this is automatically. Now, my setup here is with localhost. So if we click here, we will go to the dApp that has been created for us automatically for the contract that we just deployed. Now, anyone who runs a Mythos node can become a web server provider. And as I've explained in a previous video, the web server page that you've seen here is actually served from a smart contract. So we have a web server smart contract that serves this page. So that's how we know that this is a legit link to click on. And when it opens, we get our dApp. And here we can interact with the contract because the ABI and other metadata are taken from the chain. And we can see the name from the wrapped ether smart contract. We can get the current total supply, which is 0, the decimals, and we can do transactions. We can also have access to all the information that the chain has stored about this contract. And we see the address in hex format, in bec32 format. We can see the address who instantiated the contract label, the code ID, which is the source code. We can see the source code creator, and the source code creator can be different from the contract instantiator. And we can see information about the source code author, which is the name that we've just given earlier, the source code name, the source code hash. We can also have categories for contracts, but this will be presented in future videos. And we also can track the source origin from the mainnet and the source origin address, which is the address of the wrapped ether contract from the Ethereum chain. And we can copy the ABI here. So this dApp is deployed by our Marks Factory dApp engine, which is also deployed on IPFS. Usually, right now, it's on my local host. So this entire system is decentralized. And because Mythos developers have an associated digital identity, this system is the only actual dAppStore that exists and is decentralized. In future videos, you will see how you can register your dApps under categories and how, as a user, you can browse through them. Today, you have seen smart contracts import from any EVM chain. dApps are guaranteed by developers being EID verified, and you can see a demo of this in previous videos. All contracts have an automatic reference published on the Mythos web server, and a simple dApp is created on our decentralized dApp engine. And all of these dApps will be available directly in the main menu on the Ganas wallet.